first phase is complete and the results are in, that a score of 10 or more strongly suggests that mold is the primary driver of your symptoms. So here you're going to say, wait, I sat through this whole stinking class on how to do this, and you're going to tell me that I could do it with a questionnaire? I'm now confidently saying this because my questionnaire that I developed in practice all these many years, it is 3 categories of symptoms. The category 1 is the least weighted, so we don't weight it as heavily because other things can cause these symptoms and they're not necessarily only seen with mold. So if you see in order to get a 2, you have to have 5 to 7 symptoms. Then if you go to category 2, now you'll see that it doesn't take as many tick boxes to score the same in that category. And these are things that are a little more specific to mold, a little more serious. And then we go to category 3, which is weighted even heavier. Every tick box counts toward your category 3 score. And these are things that are very specific to mold. And then you add up your category scores for each category, not how many tick boxes, but what was your score, and you get your total mold risk. And so what we found in the Mold IQ research initiative that Dr. Neil Nathan and I have just done, this is through the Change the Air Foundation funded this research. The first phase is complete. And the results are in, that a score of 10 or more strongly suggests that mold is the primary driver of your symptoms. A score of 5 or more suggests that mold might be playing a role, so it's a good screening test. And you want to make sure that you don't ignore mold. If you're 5 or more, don't ignore mold. If it's 10 or more, it's time to call the building people and get your space assessed. And this is what you can use then in lieu of all the rest of that expensive testing. And the good news about knowing it's mold is that you know the culprit and you can get on a plan.